Pat on 12 News, tired of the fall gloom? We'll take you to a place in Brooklyn Park where they're working hard to create color. Then lighting up Maple Grove, the unique attraction that will soon tower over shoppers. But first, something the Robbinsdale School District says has never happened before, and it's not sitting well with parents. 12 News starts right now. A school bus driver is out of a job after asking a Robbinsdale student to pick up something he saw lying alongside the road.
That something turned out to be a gun. The incident happened Thursday morning and involved a student who attended Robbinsdale Middle School. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on this. Delane?
Mike and Alex, district officials say they've never seen anything like this before, but parents are using the incident as a chance to educate their kids. Thursday morning at the intersection of 25th and Irving in North Minneapolis, a bus driver picking up students en route to Robbinsdale Middle School noticed something on the side of the road and asked a student to get off the bus and pick it up.
The student did what he was asked to do. The item was a weapon.
Specifically, it was a gun. The driver then dropped off the kids at school, notified his supervisors, and eventually turned the gun over to police.
My daughter said by first period, the whole school knew about it. It went around that fast.
Sarah Prue has 2 children at Robbinsdale Middle School. She was not happy when she heard about the incident.
Especially knowing that it's a gun. What if it was cocked and loaded and ready to fire? You know, I mean, the child could have been hurt. Could have been my child. It scared me.
The district sent out a letter to all Robbinsdale Middle School parents Thursday afternoon explaining what happened.
In the letter it states, you know, please sit down with your children and talk to them about the situation, and if it had happened to them, how would they react, how would they respond?
Meanwhile, district spokeswoman Tia Clazen said one positive to come from the incident is that parents can use it as a teachable moment.
It's a good opportunity to talk with their students about what happens when you're in an unsafe situation, because this was indeed an unsafe situation.
An unsafe situation that Prue says she would have handled much differently.
If it were me, if I were the bus driver, my first reaction would have been to just stop and call the police and wait for them to show up.
Robbinsdale School District officials say they were informed this morning that the driver is no longer employed by Metropolitan Transportation Network, which contracts with the district for some of the smaller bus routes. Meantime, the gun is in the custody of Minneapolis police. They say they'll do tests to see if it was involved in any crimes. Mike?
All right, Delane, thanks. A Brooklyn Park man faces a lengthy prison sentence for his role in a deadly home invasion. Samaj Williams pleaded guilty to second-degree intentional murder in connection with the shooting death of a South Minneapolis homeowner. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office says Williams was one of 3 suspects who wanted to steal money and drugs from a drug dealer's home. But the Attorney's Office says they broke into the wrong house. Williams is expected to receive more than 38 years in prison when he is sentenced in March.
It's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. That's the line from the DFL party's new choice for House Speaker. Paul Thiessen of Minneapolis will become House Speaker when the legislature convenes in January. The DFL caucus also chose Representative Aaron Murphy of St. Paul to become House Majority Leader. Tom Bach from the Iron Range is expected to be the new Senate Majority Leader. This is the first time since 1990 that the DFL will control the House, the Senate, and the governor's office.
River Energy in Maple Grove is the latest utility to call for a rate increase. Great River plans to raise wholesale electricity rates by 4%. It sells to a long list of electric cooperatives, including Wright Hennepin in western Hennepin County. The company officials cite the cost of maintenance at 2 coal-fired power plants in North Dakota and a drop in demand for electricity. Last week, Xcel Energy also cited a drop in demand as a reason for a proposed rate hike of more than 10% for that company. Well, for the first time in years, the city of Brooklyn Park will roll out the red carpet Sunday for a special event honoring veterans.
Sunday is Veterans Day, and just this year, Brooklyn Park was designated a yellow ribbon city.
We've been working a year to get that status, so we really want to honor, what we're doing as a city to support veterans. and it just makes sense to do it on Veterans Day. We brought together a wealth of community resources to come out on Veterans Day, and they will be there to provide services and support and resources to veterans here in Brooklyn Park. And we want our community members to come out so they can learn about how they can engage veterans and get involved with supporting veterans as well. So we're going to have Minnesota Workforce here to help get veterans connected with searching for a job and how they can go about doing that. We're going to have our VA Vet Center here. They are homed here in Brooklyn Park. They will be here so veterans can learn about counseling services and other things that they may need. We will also have our Military Family Assistance Center here that offers more support for current military families right now facing deployment or those things before and after deployments. And then, of course, we'll have many civic and veteran organizations here to show their support as well.
You're calling this Honoring Veterans Through the Arts. Very quickly, tell me, you've got a 3 o'clock program that involves the arts.
Yes, a very short program, but we really want to show our veterans that, you know, there are many ways that we can honor them. We will have song performances, poetry performances. We have a local pastor coming to be a part of it. The color guard will be there. It's really just going to be a nice, brief service honoring veterans.
This Sunday from 2 until 5 at the Brooklyn Park Community Activity Center. The short program begins at 3 o'clock.
A big change is expected in the weather this weekend as a cold front arrives on Sunday, and that coincides with a push to keep others warm. Interfaith Outreach kicks off its 17th annual Sleep Out campaign on Saturday. And since the nonprofit moved its headquarters to Plymouth last year, it has seen the need for services grow. Interfaith now serves about 1,700 families. Its Sleep Out campaign raises money to help provide families with shelter, childcare, food, transportation, and employment assistance. The Sleep Out campaign kickoff includes a prayer walk at 6 p.m. Saturday at Interfaith's headquarters in Plymouth. There's also a community rally at 7 o'clock Saturday night at Clapperidge Park in Wayzata. Coming up, something that will soon tower over a Maple Grove shopping area.
We'll show you a unique creation inspired by something several thousand miles away. And later in sports, the puck drops for the start of the girls' hockey season as Hopkins takes on North Metro.
But first, a check of your AccuWeather forecast. Well, here's proof that you can be any age to help others.
I wanted to help other people and get them the stuff they needed.
That's 8-year-old dance student Peyton Hernandez. She saw the devastation along the East Coast caused by Hurricane Sandy and decided to do something about it. She started collecting pajamas, warm socks, slippers, and stuffed animals for children affected by the storm. The donations can be dropped off at KDI Dance Studio in Maple Grove. And as you can see there are lots of donations already, and that's just 4 days worth. Items will be collected until November 18th. Local designers are going for the unexpected when it comes to holiday decorations at the shops in Maple Grove.
It's a big project inspired by a sculpture thousands of miles away, but designers hope it will bring people to the shops at Arbor Lakes who just want to take a look. Little by little, the look of Christmas is taking shape inside a warehouse in Plymouth.
Now is definitely crunch time. Things need to happen.
A company called Christmas Decor creates decorations for dozens of retailers and homeowners, but one project for the shops at Arbor Lake stands out as unique.
We've never done anything like this.
They're working on a special tree using big balls of grapevine covered with thousands of LED lights.
Probably takes about 4 hours to wrap one ball.
They're convinced it will be different and eye-catching.
I thought, how can we do something that is a little out of the box and non-traditional, and that will be more of an attraction for people to come out to the shops.
Those lighted balls will be stacked to look like a Christmas tree.
So I started doing a little research on the internet and found a sample of a tree that was actually fabricated out of steel.
That unique look was this tree that Wendy Thompson found in Istanbul, Turkey.
It was a beautiful lit image. It's something that is unexpected.
There's still a ways to go before this resembles a holiday tree.
It takes 16 of these for one 5-foot grapevine bulb. So we put these together in sections.
We're referring to the piece that is being installed at the shops as a holiday sculpture, because it's not going to exactly be a tree, it's representative.
They're hoping for a look that will make Christmas shoppers stop in their tracks.
I think people will be pleasantly surprised.
There is still a ways to go, but they promise it will be up and lit before Thanksgiving. And it is a pretty big creation. We're told it will be 25 feet high. It's a little bit hard to tell what it will look like right now. Use your imagination and imagine the picture.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're hoping what will draw shoppers, right?
Yeah. Right, they're hoping it'll be a destination.
An eye catcher.
Well, coming up, we'll take you to a place in Brooklyn Park that's bringing life to hundreds of holiday creations.
But up next in sports, longtime Channel 12 fishing expert Terry Tuma gets a special honor. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back.
Jay Wilcox with sports. Football season not quite done yet, but let's bring on hockey season right away.
Never too early for hockey here in Minnesota, right? It's a little overlap in the seasons, and girls hockey teams getting started. It was time to drop the puck for a few girls hockey teams in the area Thursday night. Season openers included a matchup of Hopkins and North Metro. The Royals visiting the Stars in Brooklyn Park. Hopkins jumps on the Stars early. The pass back to the point. Grace Bazal shot tipped in by Jillian DeYoung to make it 2-0 Royals. DeYoung with nice vision on this one to get the puck to Nina Rogers in front for the goal, and this one makes it 3-0 Hopkins. Then it's DeYoung in alone on a breakaway, and she tucks it home before falling. The Royals lead this one 5-0 after one period. In the second, the Stars get their first goal of the season as Taylor Anderson uses the D as a screen and whips the shot home. That pulls them within 5-1. But Hopkins is too much for them. DeYoung to Rogers, and she'll be stopped, but bangs the rebound home. Hopkins skates past North Metro, 7-1. Well, a longtime contributor to Channel 12 Sports is now a Hall of Famer. Pro angler tackle Terry Tuma is going into the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame. Terry stopped by our studios to talk with John Jacobson about his induction.
It's a big honor. It really is. It's amazing at the emails, mail, phones, cell phones, home phones, just ring, ring, ring constantly. So it's a wonderful honor.
You go in the legendary communicator category. I know you've done TV for us for many years, but you got your start actually in radio many years ago. Talk about how you got started.
Well, yes, I did. I actually started, it was a Northfield station that I started with, and that's quite some time ago. And then I guess other stations start to pick up, that, and then it just sort of developed and grew from there. And I probably do about 40 radio stations a week right now.
And you did newspaper for many years for the Outdoor News.
Yes, and that's, we were talking about that today, about 25 years for Outdoor News. And then, originally it started with a lot of seminars. I think my first seminar was with Ron Lindner, the Al Lindner Group. And so we started with that, and then the seminar circuit grew, it's still going. And then, of course, TV, like Channel 12 and so forth, and get a lot of feedback.
I've seen your passion through the years for fishing, and it's one thing your peers mentioned about you, that your passion for fishing and how much you enjoy talking to people at seminars and maybe introducing people who don't have a lot of fishing knowledge to the sport.
Well, in fact, we talked about that earlier, is that there's a lot of people that want fishing information, just as good, honest knowledge, if you will, or experiences to share. And really, my main focus has been over all the years.
You passed it on to your family. Both your sons are in the fishing industry.
Yes,
right?
They are. One is a national sales manager for Rapala, and the other one is a vice president of sales for Ferguson Keller, which is a rep group Dio on some of those product lines.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, John. Very, very much so.
The Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame is based in Hayward, Wisconsin. Terry and the rest of the 2013 class will be formally inducted into the hall in March at the Northwest Sports Show at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Well, the Class 6A football playoffs kicked off Thursday night with Rosemount upsetting top seed Edina 14-10, while Lakeville North whipped Prior Lake 22-3. The other quarterfinal games are tonight, featuring Eden Prairie against Minnetonka and Wayzata squaring off with Eastview. And that's a game you can watch here on Channel 12 this weekend. John Jacobson and Joe Moline will have the call for us on Channel 12. Tune in either Saturday or Sunday night at 8:30 or 11 p.m. And Totino Grace also playing tonight as they take on as they play at Griffin Stadium in St. Paul against Apple Valley.
All right, I love that, Terry Tuma. That's great. So passionate about it.
It's a great honor.
Great honor for him. Thanks a lot, Jay.
You're welcome.
They are native to Mexico, but you will soon see them popping up everywhere.
That includes Hennepin Technical College in Brooklyn Park, which is creating a classroom of living color. We'll show you it next. Here's a way to get in a workout and support the arts. Saturday morning, Plymouth will host the first annual Paint the Pavement 5K Run Walk. Proceeds go to the Plymouth Arts Council. The race starts at 9 a.m. at the Hildy Performance Center. Day of registrations start at 7:30. Well, poinsettias make an easy holiday gift or centerpiece.
But what you might not know is growers put in months of hard work before the plants can make it to your home. In this week's garden segment Renee Bonneau shows us what it takes to make poinsettias bloom just right.
This one is a candy cane, white and red.
We're used to seeing poinsettias at their most radiant reds and brightest whites. But since July, horticulture students at Hennepin Technical College have been slaving over this vast sea of green.
It's really interesting. It's a lot of work, actually.
Here they tend to about 10 different types of poinsettias, giving each pot a particular treatment to give it the right look.
So we grow poinsettias in two forms, a pinched where you take out the center bud, or straight up where you don't do anything to it, but just manage the growth parameters.
Chemical growth regulators keep these guys compact.
This one's actually called a mini.
Retail growers want their poinsettias to peak at the right time in the holiday season, so they manipulate the plant's bloom and color schedules by applying the right amount of chemicals and light.
Industry will have early, mid, and late season bloomers, so they will have a constant, fresh variety for their customer.
Horticulture instructor Deb Kwame wants these plants to follow her students' course schedule.
Growers keep a close watch on poinsettias, making sure they look out for things like disease or insects. But because this is a classroom, they don't always strive for perfection.
I want disasters. What I want them to do is learn what can happen if they go into industry where the crop has to be perfect.
Deb says poinsettias require strict discipline that'll help her students become responsible greenhouse workers. So while the lush, colorful end product is easy on the eyes, keep in mind the journey to get here was anything but.
Being on time with all the different applications, that's what's difficult.
In Brooklyn Park, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
Regular retail growers typically start selling poinsettias just before Thanksgiving. Hennepin Tech students will start selling their poinsettias the first week of December. And that's it for us. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you back here Monday.